to Girl Talk, starring your girl, Dr. LaDanya Yvette, your clarity coach. Dr. LaDanya is the founder and CEO of I Win Global Enterprises, an inspirational movement all about girl power. This is your ultimate destination for candid conversations. We're here to be your virtual best friends, sharing everything from life, love, leadership, and legacy. So get ready, gladiators. Let's talk. Let's inspire. Let's connect. It's time for some real talk on Girl Talk. Please welcome your host and your clarity coach, Dr. LaDanya Yvette.
Hello, gladiators, and welcome to another episode of Girl Talk. We are about to deep dive into a juicy conversation about the complexities of communication and the impact that it has on all of our relationships and our insecurities, okay? So today we're going to talk about the world of misunderstood, of misread text messages. That's right. As the title says, misread text messages, y'all, and how they relate to effective communication and how it relates to our own personal insecurities. So all of us have been there, done that. We can write a book on it. And so it is quite the telling story about who we are as people, on how we perceive information and receive information based off our own thoughts and processes and insecurities. Okay, so get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. So here we go. My first talking point is, of course, text messaging, misread text messaging. So let's talk about it. Okay, y'all. So y'all know, starting with the text messages, that many of us have gone through this at some point, or know of some people who have went through it because of us. Quite honestly, you have to own up to what we do, right? So when you send a text message, it's as if you send and it's misinterpreted, or maybe misunderstood some kind of way, depending on how the person has received it. So it can cause confusion, conflict with one another, or even some people's, feelings getting hurt, quite frankly. So those are some challenging things about misread text messages. And quite frankly, it happens to the best of us. Okay, so truth be told. So, and not only that, it's the tone of the message. Okay, because text messages is not like face to face. Okay, so it's not, you can't read people's body languages or feel the spirit. Or sometimes you probably can feel the spirit of people if you can tap into that part of who you are, that you can kind of read between the lines when it comes to different personalities and how people perceive a thing. But more than likely, you can interpret it. People interpret what they want to interpret, pretty much, and so it's frustrating that way at times. So it's really no surprise how a message can be taken in a negative way, depending on how the person feels, right? So oftentimes they feel misrepresented or misunderstood in some form or fashion. And although you don't feel the spirit of the person, or you can't really tell where they're coming from, there is a sort of energy that you can feel from a message, okay? Especially if you can feel that there's something that might be a little bit off. Sometimes it can feel like there's something off, depending on the relationship with people. And so you can probably read that, but you don't really want to put too much weight into a text message. And so we're going to go a little bit deep further on that, and why you should not do that, and how things can be misconstrued or perceived in a negative manner. So that leads me to my second point, which is effective communication. Now, effective communication is when, you're talking with someone and you have that vibe with one another, and you kind of get where the person is coming from. You understand where they are. They understand you. You have this really good vibe in communicating, so people really don't have a problem when they're on the same plane or the same page with one another, right? So I actually asked a friend of mine. I was talking with them about this particular topic and that I was going to do a podcast on it because it's just something that a lot of us encounter. And I was like, that would make something great to talk about. And they asked me a particular question, and I was like, well, write that down because I really want to remember what that is so I can share with you all what their perception of what we was talking about at the time, and in the form of text messages. So they asked me to question this, and it goes pretty much like this. Here's the question. How can we enhance communication in order to reduce our chances of being misrepresented or misunderstood? Okay. So how can we enhance our chances of communication to reduce our chances of being misunderstood? How can we enhance our communication? So my answer went pretty much like this, y'all. It's like, in what aspect? The key aspect is what? Clarity. You have to get clear on what you want to accomplish in the conversation, what you want to get across in the conversation. It goes far when you are not misunderstood, when you're very clear what you're trying to get across, so it absolutely goes with the intention of the message, the intention of what you're trying to express of yourself and what you want the person to get and how you want them to feel, behind what you're saying in a text, even in a text message. It can be a phone call, even though that you can hear the voice, but text messages, emails, for example, you don't really see the person's, body language or movement or anything like that. You don't really catch what tone are they in off a text message because it's just not there, quite frankly. So you're just going off your own perception, which can sometimes be misunderstood. Next, we're going to talk about insecurities. Now, let's talk about that part. Insecurities, you guys, misread text messages can often trigger those insecurities amongst the best of us. It can lead to, number one, overanalyzing everything, overthinking a thing, even through a text message. It's like trying to figure it out, overanalyzing. And then number two is second guessing ourselves. A lot of times we will overanalyze and second guess ourselves. What insecurities? That's quite the insecurities right there. That's two at one time that we do, overanalyze and second guess ourselves. And so it's true that it can get quite confusing to receive a negative response in our minds when we don't really know in the spirit of which it's coming from, the text messages, because our mind can get jaded if we think it's negative, whatever it is, we would think that, well, wow, where did that come from? But that comes from our own insecurities, right? So we can sit up there and we can wonder, if something was said wrong, did I say something wrong? How are they taking it? Are they mad at me? All those types of negative thoughts can come across your mind because you believe that they took your words wrong or you took their words wrong, right? So, it's like, are they upset with us? Or, what the heck just happened? Pretty much, it's like, what just happened? So the insecurities is really part of your self-esteem, your own issue that you have to deal with. So when any of those insecurities come across to where you're taking something the wrong way and you're taking it really personally, it's time to check yourself. It's time to check those insecurities because a lot of times, and most of the time, what the message that you receive has nothing to do with what you're thinking. But see, because you're in a negative space already, you're taking it personal, you're taking it negative. You're taking it the wrong way when quite honestly, my opinion, you need to take the emotion out of it. Because if it's not about you, if you're secure in your own mind that you did nothing wrong and that you are consistent with really who you are, there's no need for a misread text message to unnerve you, right? Because you're secure within yourself. So why would you be in that negative space? And anything, in any way, just ask for clarity. Can you clarify that? Can you say that again? I misunderstood you. I think I misunderstood you. That way, where the person is coming from. Now, if it is indeed a negative text message, then at least because you asked and you got clarity on that. So that's a whole nother thing between the two people who are engaged in this conversation for them to work out. But ordinarily, in a regular conversation, effective communication to build healthy relationships, there's no need for confusion to come in. And if the confusion does come in, then that is your own insecurity that you have to deal with. All right. So that's very important. You got to check yourself if you feel jaded because something came across in your mind the wrong way. The next one I will say, the fourth one is how to handle those misread text messages along with your insecurities, how they go in hand. So there are some practical tips that you can take that I feel that will be valuable to you. I know that they are for me. I had to learn a long time ago not to take things so personal. When I started taking the emotion out of every conversation, every thought and feeling that I had about anything, anybody, even myself, when I started taking the emotion out of that emotion, that was a game changer for me because I am secure with who I am and I need and want peace in my life. So unless there's some issue that I have with myself, which is my own insecurity, then I have to deal with that part of me to correct that or get some help with it because it's just not healthy for anybody to be insecure about anything. So one tip I would say is just to breathe. You do not have to respond all the time so quickly to a thing. Think about it first. Okay? Think about it first. Just pause, just breathe through a moment. Give yourself some time to process what you just read and perceive what it is and the true intention that is coming from. Some people just say whatever it is on the top of their head, but it is from them, it's not really how they want it to come across. But see, the receiver don't see it that way. But when the receiver is secure in their mind and take the emotion out of the text messages, take the emotion out of the information that they receive, then they can deal with it a little bit better. They don't let those insecurities pop up to jade their mind about anything that's going on with this conversation. That's how you develop healthy relationship, healthy, effective communication with anyone in your life. You really have to tone down that of yourself that's insecure within yourself. So insecurities has a lot to do with miscommunication, including that of misread text messages. Okay. So you have to deal with that. So take a moment and breathe and stop assuming the worst of everything. You don't need to assume the worst of everything. I tell people always default to the positive in everything. Always default to the positive in everything. And even if you do take it as a negative at first, because we're human, we think about whoa, what was that? But pause, breathe, take a step back and realize and analyze it and just process it for a moment and say, well, maybe they didn't mean it that way. So I need to ask some questions. Okay, is this what you meant? Explain that to me again. That there's ways of getting what you want in a positive way, so that way you can be sure of what you're dealing with. And it can just be as innocent as I don't know what. A lot of misread text messages are innocent. It's the person who is the receiver who are insecure in their mind that take it into the negative. So check yourself with the insecurities. So second, work on your self-esteem, your self-confidence, anything dealing with you as an individual, what your quirks are, what you need to work on within yourself to help you to develop, to be the best version of yourself, whether is taking those steps to take care of your insecurities, take care of your motivate yourself, inspire yourself to be more confident. I know a lot of things take time, and that's okay. As long as you're pushing forward to making yourself a better person, it's fine. Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode, and I hope that you gained some valuable insight into the world of misread text messages and how to have effective communications with your relationships and how to deal with your own personal insecurities. It's such a juicy topic, you guys. And so I do want to hear from you. So remember, effective communication is a skill that has to be developed in yourself. So don't push yourself too hard. Just make sure that you work towards making yourself a better person, especially when you're dealing with those insecurities, to improve upon yourself. That's what it's all about, is to be better than you are every day. Be better every day. That's it, you know. So thank you for tuning in, and be sure you like and subscribe and comment on this video, you guys, because I truly want to hear from you. I want to continue the conversation in the comments. If you have any questions, just go ahead and put those in the comments, and let's have this dialogue again together. It's been a pleasure being on this podcast with you guys, and I just enjoy bringing you guys the information as it hits my spirit. I bring it to you all here, and we can share and we can just engage with one another. So I think that's a great thing.
Hey Gladiators, this is your girl Dr. LaDanya Yvette, and I am so excited for this year's GlowCon 2023. Come on down to Dallas, Texas, you guys. Come glow with us. October 29th, we are ready with some powerful, impactful speakers and ready to immerse you in an experience like none other. Come get connected with us. We want to see you there. Get your face in the place, as they say. Get your tickets at www.iwinglobalenterprises.com/Glow Dallas. That is www.iwinglobalenterprises.com/Glow Dallas. Come to Dallas, Texas, you guys. Let's glow.